the companies will be making sure that they're productive and your money will be growing. So what is a share? Many may be asking, what is a share? It means that you own a company. So for example, you'd like to make some earrings. You want to dispatch about 100,000 earrings per week, but you don't have the money to be able to do that. So you then approach other people to be in partnership with you. And in exchange for them giving you some money, you give them ownership or shares in your company. So the companies that are listed are saying that, please come and be part of us. We need the money to build this company. We need the money to do something big. So come and be part of us. So initially, when there's the primary market and the secondary market, the primary market is where you buy shares from the company directly. So this company wants to make earrings. They have 100,000 shares. They're willing to let go of 80,000 at $1. So they go out into the public. They're selling 80,000 shares for $1. People buy up. So we've got 80,000 other people who own shares in this earring company. Once they list, they may decide to sell. So now the market is trading based on demand and supply. The shares will go up or down. And those who bought at $1 may decide, oh, it's now at $1.80. I need to make some money out of this. So they can then sell to others at $1.80. And that is where the secondary market is. So we have the primary market where the company gets money from individuals and they use that money in production. And then we have the secondary market where different shareholders are buying and selling to each other. So the stock market, unfortunately, Tatenda and Mercy cannot sell shares that are listed to each other. They have to go through a stockbroker. They have to go through a market. So that is what a share is, and that is what the stock market is. So for example, a company can pay dividend, which is when they release their financials, they've been trading, they've been selling what they do. They then release their financials and they have a profit. So they've made some money. Their sales were 1 million, their costs were 400,000. They remain with 600,000 as a profit. And they will decide of that 600,000, 200,000 will retain to grow the business. 400,000 will then pay our fellow shareholders. So that is a dividend. It's thank you money to say you are part of us. And there are companies that pay dividend consistent. Then there are others that don't pay dividend. So when you sit down with your broker, your financial advisor, you now need to know, am I going in for the dividend? Am I going in for the growth, that 80 cents from $1 to $1.80, or am I going for both? So it goes back to your financial plan. It goes back to how your finances are moving. So there's an example of some of the companies that are listed. We have Delta, CBZ Holdings. Those are listed on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange. The exchange in Zimbabwe, we have two exchanges, one in ZiG, the local currency, and the other in USD. Then we've got Old Mutual over there. This one is listed on the FinSec, which is an alternative a market, and it's also listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, and it's also listed on the London Stock Exchange. So we may be fearful of maybe I don't want to have anything in Africa, or I don't want to have anything in Europe. There are many options as long as you decide to start. If you don't own, you'll forever be paying someone else who does. I love that quote from Oprah Winfrey. All right, then we've got the REIT. This is the latest phenomena that is driving our market, the stock market. So a REIT is different from a share in that it's called a REIT, firstly. And then secondly, a REIT in Zimbabwe is guaranteed of dividends. So with the share, they decide we may give you a dividend, we may not give you a dividend. But with the REIT, you are guaranteed that every quarter they have to pay a dividend. And they have to pay 80% of what they make. So if they have a building somewhere, you know that you're going to get 80% as the share, as the dividend, as the REIT holders, as the shareholders. You're entitled by law to get that. So why are REITs like the latest, in thing in Zimbabwe? Is because the property market has been going up. The property market has been going up, and people pay their rentals in US dollars as opposed to the local currency. So it is also a hedge. So once you own a REIT, it means that you're an owner of the building. Once they get rental income, they then pay a distribution to their shareholders. So why wouldn't you own a REIT, my dear friends? Because property is doing well. You can actually see the REITs that they speak of. So with the shares, you're like, oh, I know Delta is producing, but with the REIT, you can physically go to the property and verify for yourself and know that it is there. So we have Tigere REIT, for example. Tigere REIT owns Chinamano Corner, Highland Park, Greenfields, Zimbre Park, Steers Food Court that's upcoming, to say some of them that they are working on. So these are properties that you've seen from development stage up to now. So it's things that you can see, it's things that you understand as a woman. You know that we need to pay rent. You know that we need to go shopping. And when you go shopping, you know that those companies need to pay rentals. So sometimes it's better to own a REIT instead of to buy a property. When you buy a property, you need to make sure that it's in order in terms of insurance. You need to make sure that the tenant that you have is above board. You need to constantly make sure that it's up to date. But now when you own a REIT, you're a part owner of a property, but at the same time, you don't have the stress and the hassle that comes with it. So here sitting in front of you is an owner of Tigere. So I am a property owner, a landlord of Highland Park. So once you pass there, please remember, Corinne owns Highland Park. All right. Then there's an opportunity that I would like someone here to take advantage of. So we have the Puma REIT that is upcoming. It's currently available at 10 cents per unit. So Puma REIT is under the Insco family. The Insco family is going into property. They want to build. They have already built some. So there's Coke Corner, King George, and Coke Road. If you can envision with me there, where there's the food court, they already own that. And they are working on acquisitions of space out of town in Chegutu, Chivu, and they also have something in Hoggarty Hill. So they've got land banks that they're going to develop into mixed use, commercial, but they already have anchor clients that are ready and happy to go in. So some of the clients are Simbisa Brands and Pick n Pay. So with this Puma REIT, they are targeting to list on the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange on the 4th of February. They already have issued their prospectus. It closes on the 23rd of January, which is on Friday. So the subscription is 100 US, which is 1,000 units. That is their minimum. And you get to participate now, between now and Friday, with no custodian costs, with no broker's costs. Corinne is not making anything from that. So it's direct and raw. it's clean.
So
But
Corinne,
once,
excuse me, Corinne. So if they wanted to invest, is there a minimum investment?
yes, for the REIT, the minimum is 100 US, 1,000 units,
$100 US?
which is equivalent to 1,000 units.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
So they could get 1,000 units in this for
Yes.
$100.
Yes.
Oh, sounds like a good deal, and it sounds like you're recommending it.
Yes, I do highly recommend it. For example, one of the anchor clients is Simbisa. Simbisa started trading January 2025 at a low price of around 20 cents, somewhere there. And then it closed there at around 60. And then we've got Insco, which is the parent, opened the year at 48 cents and closed the year at $1. So this is the stocks that I'm just throwing it in there to just show you how they will move. And then another REIT, maybe for just interest sake, that's listed in May 2025, the Eagle REIT. I think you saw it on the previous slide. It listed at 15 cents. They have got Mazoe Business Park. They also have a development in Victoria Falls for a private hospital. That area, Matebeleland North, doesn't have a private hospital. And the tourists who are going to Victoria Falls will benefit from that. They are building a hospital in Victoria Falls. And their unit price started at 15 cents when they listed. And today it closed at 37 cents. So why I'm saying these different prices is when you enter at 10 cents before it lists, how I can almost guess how it will move. Although I will not say here, but it is worth your time, worth your money.
Very insightful. Very
Oh, sorry,
insightful.
thank you.
Questions? Yeah, there are a few questions. I just want us to take a pause that maybe you can answer these few questions that are coming through. A lot of people will want to know, how do we acquire REITs? If I'm not based in Zimbabwe, or if I'm not a Zimbabwean citizen, how can I also access this? You've answered what is the general price of REITs that you've answered. So if you can just let us know, Corinne, this is very insightful. Where can we access these? And yeah, how do you acquire them?
All right. So for one to purchase a REIT, they need to open an account with a stockbroker. So you need to share your ID or passport, proof of residence, fill out the forms, your passport size photo. So this is not limited to those who reside in Zimbabwe or those who are citizens of Zimbabwe. So the REITs that I speak of in Zimbabwe, we only have 3 going on to 4. But in South Africa, there are 43 REITs that are listed there and doing very well. I speak of South Africa because they are closest to us. So the REIT opportunities are international. Wherever you are, you can access them. And I would advise, once you get started, you should actually not limit yourself to Zimbabwe only. You should buy as much as you can, because this is a protected territory, because the dividends are sure to come. So get in touch with your financial advisor, with your broker, open an account, and you can buy a REIT. Interestingly, to get a REIT, Revitas REIT is in ZiG, but they pay out a US dollar dividend. How sweeter does it go?